Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's Cabinet meeting. A few housekeeping things to start with. Fire evacuation procedures. There are no alarms scheduled for this evening, so if it goes off, please exit via the fire exit at the back of the room, located in the War Memorial Park. Please don't disappear. We want to count everybody in and out. Webcasting, it's live, going on the internet right now. It'll be on YouTube for everybody to watch thereafter. Microphones, can I ask you all and officers please to speak into the microphone clearly and don't move it. It's set up with the cameras. And then in terms of mobile phones, if you would please turn them off or turn them to silent, that would be great. Thank you very much. Okay, the main agenda for this evening. Apologies for absence. I have one apology this evening from Councillor Tomlin, who's not with us this evening. Do I have any declarations of interest on the agenda this evening? None? There are no urgent matters this evening. Minutes of the meeting held on the 10th of June 2025. Do I have your permission to sign those minutes as a true and accurate record of the meeting we held? Agreed? Thank you. I will do so. Item 5, leader and portfolio holder announcements. We have a couple, a few, so I'm going to ask Councillor Mackay, would you like to pick up with the CA, please, first? Thank you.
Let me begin by affirming our support for Citizens Advice Basingstoke. I'd like to commend them, their staff and volunteers as they deal with being evicted from the Discovery Centre by Hampshire County Council. An example surely of local government too distant to understand the impact of their actions on our community. In contrast to Hampshire County Council, this council has been providing additional support to Citizens Advice ever since this situation arose. So at present, Citizens Advice has secured temporary accommodation in Chinham, which is expected to be up and running early August. They're also pursuing the possibility of some limited accommodation in the library area to maintain a minimal town centre presence. But let's be clear, our overriding aim is to see Citizens Advice return to the town centre. Fortunately, there are some options under consideration which we're prepared to support. However, it will take some time to bring about a full return to the town centre. Concluding this statement with some good news, with funding from the council, outreach work by Citizens Advice is now active in Popley, Buckskin and Oakridge.
Thank you, John. We are obviously committed to supporting the CA, as you say, and it's good to hear about the outreach work beginning in all those community centres too. Thank you very much. Kerry.
Thank you, Leader. I'd like to provide a quick summary of Basingstoke Festival, if I may. I would like to thank the wonderful officers from the Arts and Culture team and all the volunteers who have helped deliver another fantastic, successful Basingstoke Festival. The conditions were incredibly hot on the first 2 weekends, but our reliable, incredible events team did not wilt. This was the 14th birthday for Basingstoke Festival, and I'm very grateful that we as a borough were once again able to present this feast of creative performances to our residents on their doorstep. Over 3 weekends, a total of 81 performances took place in locations in and around the town centre, and on Sundays, the festivals travelled out and about around the borough, making it accessible to all. Some excellent facts for this year's festival. 10,931 people watched a full show in the festival this year. 2,067 people took place in creative workshops. Communities were heavily involved this year, with 86 workshops taking place in schools, with community groups, in care homes and in empty units in the shopping centre. 22 young people completed meaningful working experience. 4 of these will achieve a Level 1 Arts Award, and 2 have been offered paid work following on from their experience. And 15 people volunteered for the festival. A massive thank you has to go to the creatives who performed at Basingstoke Festival. 114 artists worked on the festival, with 19 local artists contributing their homegrown performances. We also had 5 shows premiered in Basingstoke this year. Steps were taken to make the festival inclusive, with 3 British Sign Language signers interpreting performances. The festival continues our work championing our town centre. The festival worked with 7 local businesses, including the malls and Festival Place, and supported many other town centre businesses through increased footfall and dwell time. And finally, the biggest number, over 13,000 people have engaged with the festival this year, creating lots of fun, smiles and laughter in the sun. Hopefully everyone got to see the festival, but if not, the events team are not finished. Head over to Love Basingstoke and check out our August adventures, an offering of free activities to the kids and to keep them busy during the summer holidays. And also, after a successful sport and wellbeing pilot day last year, we have the exciting new event Limitless on Saturday the 26th of July at War Memorial Park. This is a very exciting event designed for teenagers and young adults with extreme sports and exciting activities. It's far too exciting for a 40-year-old to explain. So I suggest you visit Love Basingstoke and see what's on offer. Thank you.
At least last year, Kerry, you had the nerve to go around on a BMX and try it out. So good on you for doing that. You do it again this year. That's brilliant. I mean, it was interesting to note this last weekend, actually. The BBC were reporting how many communities are regrettably having to cut back their festivals and cut back on those sorts of events. And yet again in Basingstoke, we're carrying on to deliver that. And that's no mean feat by all the volunteers, the council, and especially our volunteer, absolutely amazing also events team in terms of what they've delivered. And big thanks to the events team for all the hard work that's gone into it, the hours of work that's gone into it. So huge thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Laura.
And just to say, I took part in it. The festival came out to Oak Ridge, to the Hall for All, and I sat in a whale. It opened up and it swallowed me, and I watched a performance in a whale.
That was brilliant, that. I think smile. Champion. There were some amazing performances this year. It was absolutely superb. And it was mostly free. And that's the important point. It's an important point. Okay, colleagues, could I ask Laura, please, in terms of...
Yes, as you all know, we've made the decision to deliver food waste, and it's 6 months ahead of what the government were requiring us to do. So that's really positive, and it's very clear that that's what the residents of this borough wanted. And just in relation to figures, facts and figures, I didn't want to be left out here, so I thought I'd just sort of come in with my own. So we've already had 3.4 million bin liners delivered, and 54,000 caddies have been delivered, and we've got in total we will be receiving 249,000 bin caddies to be delivered. But I want to say a really big thank you to the staff of this council who've had to unload those, and we're having those stored in a warehouse at the moment, and to let the residents of this borough know that they will be coming out and being delivered to them between August and September. So residents will be receiving those. In each caddy, you will also receive a leaflet telling you all about the service. And next week, all residents will receive a letter that will go to every household to explain about this service and what it's about. But if anybody is wanting more information, if I can just let people know, and I'm sure you have been given this information elsewhere, but it'll be in the letter that's coming to through your door, is to look at the BasingstokeGov UK food waste. And that website will tell you more about the service, and it will keep you on track of what's happening, and also you'll be able to look at any of the questions that you might want answered. But this is the start of a process. We're going to be enabling you to deliver a lot more in the coming years, but this is just the start of our commitment to deliver a greener agenda. So thank you, and then it's an exciting time ahead. We will be starting the service on the 6th of October on a Monday, and again you will get that information and how that's going to work. But it's all started, so it's great news.
That's brilliant. I mean, to see the council move forward with food waste collection is something we've all been looking forward to and all been an important part of our agenda. So getting the information out to residents of what they can expect, when they can expect it, and the dates that are important all coming, that's really, really good. Okay, colleagues, so just finally, I've got a statement to make around the local government reorganisation that is taking place, that wonderful dry thing of what's happening around the reorganisation of our councils. It is important, and it's something that we want residents to hear and to take very seriously. It's the future of your democratic local representatives across Hampshire, and part of that in North Hampshire, we are promoting the idea that Basingstoke and Dean, Hart and Rushmore are coming together as one local council, delivering all services under one roof. We are running a survey right now. So if you go onto the council's website, you will be able to see a survey being run. There is a QR code available to download, and that will be going out on various platforms and various forms. But the important thing is to ask everybody, please, to take part in the survey, share your views on what you see as the future of local government and local councils in our area. It's really important that you have your say. And as part of that, we are being very clear that we're advocating for a Northern Hampshire Unitary Authority, a council that would deliver all the services under one roof. And I look forward to hearing what residents have got to say as part of that. Thank you very much, colleagues. So I've got the two papers that are on our agenda this evening. The Capital Outturn 24-25, item 6. Gavin, would you like to introduce the paper?
Yes, it's not very exciting. There's no face painting or anything like that, and no new bins. So I'll do what I can with it. So this is the Capital Outturn report for the last financial year. There is £2.9 million underspend for that year. This is not a new thing. It's a theme that's been developing over many, many years, where there's a discrepancy between what we believe we can do and actually what we're able to deliver, given the difficulty around getting workforces, suppliers, etc. So I'll cover what's actually happening in this one, but there's a bit more to say after that. So in terms of this one, a lot of those underspends are still required works and will be coming back into next year's plans. In terms of changes, because this is for us to note and for council to approve, there are a few 106 payments that are going to be converted into their intended purposes, which we'll be asking council to approve. We're also looking to get council to approve a small capital programme pot, effectively, when we do a project and it ends up being a few £1,000s over because it's been delayed and it's now going to cost more, that there is a flexible amount of money included that officers can sort of tap into through the vehement rules. And that includes things like the additional cost of doing the BMX, the emergency access to the BMX track at Downgrange, which we have to get included into next year. So those will be asking full council to do. What we have done during the last quarter is go through everything that's in the capital programme. Some of it's been there for a little while when it's not progressed, and we've tried to get an understanding of what's going to progress, when is it going to go progress, and realistically, when is it going to actually happen. And so you can see there's a list of lots of changes in future years, which will all be sort of cleared up when we do our new budget for February, which hopefully means in future years that our capital programme is something that is actually delivered rather than a sort of wish list of things we want to do. So there's hopefully a good sign for the future that we've got capital right. But obviously within that capital programme, there are some exciting things and good things happening that we've managed to deliver this year. But hopefully in future years, what we deliver will be what we say we're going to deliver.
Thank you, Gavin. Colleagues. Okay, the recommendation on this paper is on page 14 of the paper and page 15 of the paper. On page 14, we've got Cabinet requests Council to note, and there are 6 bullet points set out there. And then there is 7, 8, 9 and 10 bullet points on page 15, which is Cabinet requests Council to approve. Do we agree those recommendations listed 1 to 10? Agreed? Thank you, colleagues. The next item on the agenda is item 7, which is the Revenue Outturn Report. Gavin.
Thank you. The Revenue Outturn Report shows that we're in a favourable position of £1.1 million, or just shy of £1.1 million. There are a variety of reasons for this. Essentially, if you look at there's been some items of government sort of specific grants that have come through quite late in the day, which we haven't organised to spend, and you can see when we get to the proposals to council, those will go into the appropriate reserve to be spent when we can get best value for the taxpayer. So in terms of the actual revenue outturn, things that were slightly different, they're all listed in the report. If we pull out the sort of 3 significant ones, advantageous to us was the collection bins. We got an extra £440,000 out of rubbish because prices are good at the moment, and that's from the sort of bring sites around the town. We also have sticky interest rates, which meant our returns on our investments were slightly higher than we expected. Against that is the cost of the utilities in our leisure centres. Unfortunately, energy costs are high, and we're not protected by any cap as a council, and therefore we've had to incur an extra £400,000 cost. So those are the 3 significant numbers that balance out to leave us with £290,000 that isn't earmarked. We're going to propose to put that into the medium-term risk reserve, the MTFS risk reserve. Principally, you'll remember last year we did the budget, we had the budget ready, we announced the budget, and then during that process, employers' national insurance was increased, which means we had to draw down an additional £460,000 from our reserves, and this outturn allows us to put some of that back in to put ourselves in a stronger position for the future. So you can see all the list there of all the sort of various underspends which make up 80 fair amount of money. The other bit that was obviously a pain was the local plan. We really thought we'd be Reg 19ing by now, and we're not. We went back to the start. There's been a cost incurred for that. The government have backfilled that cost to a certain extent, but it does mean that some of that spending has been deferred to next year, as we'll now have to revisit a lot of the stuff we've already done this year, next year, to conclude that process. So a positive position. We are in a satisfactory place, and again, we've managed to fill some of that risk reserve that we took out this year to get the employers' national insurance covered.
Thank you, Gary. Colleagues. So the recommendations are on page 40 of the papers. It is recommended that Cabinet notes the bullet points 1 to 4 and that Cabinet requests Council to approve the bullet point 5. Do we agree? Agreed? Thank you very much. Back to the main agenda. There is nothing more on the main agenda, and thank you very much for your attendance this evening. Thank you.